Let's get straight to it. No, you don't need hundreds of sneakers, even to own 100 sneakers for you to be considered a sneakerhead. And you absolutely don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars of income per year to be able to consistently invest for your future, your financial well being, and to grow your net worth. You don't. Now, I love sneakers and personal finance. I don't know if it's like equally, is one edging one out over the other? I'm not really sure, but I love to bring the two together here on the channel at Talks with TJ. So let's dive straight in. I am filming this though prior to the Super Bowl, so clearly I have no idea who won, but I am pulling for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, even though Jason doesn't play anymore, I'm a really big Jason Kelsey fan now, and also a big fan of his wife. So I am hoping that Jalen and the team pulled that off. Also Saquon Barkley, like, yeah, I would love for him to go ahead and get a ring as well. So if they didn't win, I'm sure every Chiefs fan is going to sound off in the comment section. So by all means, go right ahead. Once we're done with the Super Bowl, we'll move into All-Star Weekend, and then we will move into March Madness, and that is what I am extremely excited about, especially when it comes to the women's college side, whether it's South Carolina, USC. Yeah, I am all locked in, and of course my Wolverines. So let's get to it. Do you need hundreds of pairs of sneakers to be a sneakerhead? You don't. And I'm sure you guys have seen it, even commented on my channel from time to time, that heaven forbid you start to step away, even though you've been in this game since you were really, really little. Heaven forbid you're not buying as many shoes as you did in the past. Heaven forbid you have decided to clear out some of your closet because it's become a lot. You may have people say like, oh, well, they really don't think that you were ever true or genuine to this. They may not think that you like are a real sneakerhead. And you may see like if you were mids, you're not really a sneakerhead. There are so many things that are thrown out there, and I'm always trying to figure out who made these individuals judge, jury, and executioner to decide and govern like what makes someone a sneakerhead. And also, just side note, I don't know that I even care for that term a ton. I mean, I use it often because that's what certainly gets you into the search results, right? Like it's a common term that is known, but it can be cringe at times. Like it really, really can. And I think part of it does come from people trying to be just very malicious in how they gatekeep. You can certainly gatekeep and do it in a sound, respectful way to the culture itself, but seeing it done sometimes in the way that it's done, not the biggest fan of it. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and drop in a clip here from Nightwing and Jody, aka Wear Testers. Let's just go ahead and drop that in because they received a really great question from their community just in terms of defining a sneakerhead, and who better to go ahead and break this down than Chris.
Go in a video. What do you feel makes a sneakerhead? The love for shoes, how many pairs they own, whether they know the history of sneakers or not? You guys are the best.
Question that has, depending on who you ask, multiple answers. You know what I mean? Like, does a sneakerhead have to own hundreds of shoes? No. Does a sneakerhead have to know all the history about all things? No. Does a sneakerhead have to have some level of desire to attain or obtain a pair of shoes? Yes. Like that's the initial lust. You know what I mean? Like when you first see something, whatever it might be, walking or driving or whatever by, and you see it and you just are immediately attracted to that thing, like that makes you interested in that thing. You know what I'm saying? And if that happens to be sneakers, that's awesome. It might be a one and done type of thing though. You might see an original pair of Air Jordan 12s, love them, buy them, wear them out, and then throw them away and never buy another pair of Jordans again. You never know. It just really depends on the situation. For me, I just think that a general love slash lust slash appreciation for all things sneakers, and I don't just mean like one-sided in terms of brand, kind of makes you, in my head at least, a sneakerhead. But
okay, so hopefully this resonates and hits home because you may see newer collectors, I mean people that are just starting to get into sneakers, and they feel like their collection just pales in comparison, so then they start to truly actually just compare themselves, and maybe I'm really not into this as what somebody else is because they have wall-to-wall rooms full of sneakers. That doesn't diminish or take away your love or passion. To be honest, I am really intrigued by those who have just curated their collections down, like I've said, to less than 50 pairs, or it's 35. Like don't be fooled. Some people had massive pairs and they actually curated that collection down to 30 to 50, and you are going to receive just some really personal stories once they've done that, gotten down to that 30 to that 50 range. And if it's even lower, then I promise you every single shoe, something about it is just deeply embedded into who they are and why they love this game so much. So listen, I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there because often I see that of what really makes you a sneakerhead, and then people will also kind of feel the same when it comes to personal finance, right? Like they will think, well, investing is just too complicated, or I will never be able to, put money aside for my future. Like, it's not even a point because I don't make X amount of, dollars. And I get it. Like, part of what's been thrown out there to, well, quite frankly, systematically keep people from investing and building their own wealth when you have financial independence, that does mean that you are not susceptible to having to do any and everything that somebody may want you to do, especially within society. So yeah, there is that myth out there that if you don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars, then you really just can't feasibly invest. That's not true. Like, I've broken this down on my channel a few times, but let's just go over it again. It's 2025. It's a brand new year. I likely have new subs, which if you are here, hey, what's up? Also, if you're just here and you're just passing through, I really appreciate you. So let's take a look at, someone that is still able to afford a few things for themselves, right? Extra every single month, but you are at least putting something aside for saving. You guys already know you need to have an emergency fund in place, okay? You absolutely, positively need to. Things will happen, okay? The emergencies happen. And just this current economy, current state of all the things, I would like you to be as prepared as possible, okay? So please just have savings in place. But not only that, right? You can't save your way to really being wealthy unless you do have this insane amount of income earned every year, which also means you're going to be insanely taxed every single year too. So investing is the way to be able to build wealth. Now, is it flashy and does it, I don't know, have all these bells, whistles, and excitement going on? No, it doesn't. Like, I've had people try to argue me down on my channel that it's better for you to go ahead and try to resell sneakers long term versus you and just investing in the market and letting it do its thing, even though, like, it's tried and true for many, many years. I go ahead and usually just like shut those conversations down and walk away from them because there is nothing to be gained or earned, okay? But for those that are open and receptive to it, okay, you don't need to earn hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to invest for yourself every single year. Quite frankly, listen, let's say you have enough disposable income to still enjoy the things that you want. That can be sneakers, it can be eating out, but also make the effort to put aside something towards investing. And if you're not already doing that through your job with the 401k, hopefully if it's a match, you're taking up to the match, you can start small because it can be intimidating, right? So let's just say you start off with $200, and I'm going to use the example to say you already have $1,000 set aside, right? Maybe you've gotten tax money back, or you just had an additional savings again set aside, and you're like, you know what? I want to try to start investing this year. I just need to take that first step, okay? But I don't think it's worth it because I don't make a whole lot. So what difference will it make? It makes a difference. Let's take a look, okay? So again, let's just say you have $1,000, you're going to start. That's going to be the very first deposit you make into a Roth IRA, provided you meet the income requirements, which just means you have to be below a certain threshold. And then we're going to still be conservative and say you're only getting an 8% rate of return. And let's say you are younger than myself. I'm 35. Let's say you're 30. And listen, don't feel bad if you are starting in your 30s, okay? Do not feel bad. I would rather you just start. So let's say we're going to do this for 35 years, so you would be 65 at the end, and you're going to contribute. Let's say it's only $200 a month, right? Because you think, well, I only have an extra $200 a month. What is that really going to get me? You would be surprised. So if you take a look at the calculator here, starting amount, again, $1,000, you're putting in $200 like clockwork every single month. And with this example, I would estimate that you're just putting this into the S&P 500. And again, that part is not investing advice, but what do I choose to invest in? Index funds. I keep it simple. And also Vanguard just said they're going to lower the expense ratios and the fees and everything associated with them. So I am even happier about that in 2025. So if we take a look, right? So total contributions over that 35 years by you is $84,000. However, the total interest earned, because compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, $361,055. So you're ending with $446,055. Now, something that is scary, this part is harsh and it's scary, and we're just going to bring it up, okay? Most Americans are not ready financially. They are not equipped when it comes to retirement, okay? Because again, either they never started, they never prioritized it, which is what I want you to do. Like when you're watching me, yes, I want you to love sneakers. I want you to plan ahead for them. I want you to embrace your style, and you can use me as an inspiration. I love that. I'm not a stylist in any way, shape, or form. I just wear what I like to wear. But if you're inspired by it, then great. But let's just look at some real hard facts here, okay? The median retirement savings for Americans, let's just use in 2022, was $87,000. You can't continue to live just on that in retirement. Yes, you may get Social Security, if that's a thing anymore. But let's just take a look also at the average retirement savings by age. Now, if you are below this, do not feel bad. Again, I just want you to know the numbers, being aware, and then you can start and you can take action, as I just showed you guys, if you start investing. But if you're under 35, average age of retirement savings, $49,000. The median one's only 18. So once we start to get up there, let's just say, right, we're higher, 35 to 44, average retirement savings, if you're in that range, is $141,520. Again, keep in mind, a lot of my demographic that, watches this channel, you're right in that age range, right? I'm 35 myself. And then once we get higher and higher, right, let's look at those ages that are truly into retirement. So let's say, we'll go ahead and do 65 to 74, right? Average retirement savings is $609,000, but the median is only $200,000. So is that the worst thing to have to live on? No, because something is better than nothing, but it's certainly not enough. Like, it's not. For a lot of people, again, the 4% rule does apply. 4% is what you withdraw from your total retirement savings, and that's what you live off on every single year. That is a good number for you to know. How much do you want to live on at the end, or live on every single year? And that will allow you to work backwards to know, like, what is the amount that I need to have. But I just need to take that myth away, right? You don't have to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. There are plenty of people that make $100,000 a year. They make less than that, and they make sure that their finances in terms of fixed expenses are not, just beating them into the ground as much as possible. They do the best that they can. Then they still prioritize saving and investing. I know that you are going to prioritize sneaker releases because you love them, and I love that for you, okay? There are still some that are high on my priority list, and you know that. Number one being the A1, okay? At least 2 pairs. Number one being the A1. And I know that for a lot of you, the top sneaker on your list, even if you really just can't get your hands on it, is going to be the Air Jordan 1 High 85 Bred. Now, my recent video, please be clear, okay? The marketing itself, like the campaign, beautifully done. The ads make me feel like I'm back in the 90s. That's not what I'm questioning. Is it a miss? It's instead, is this going to taint the actual Bred 1? And then that's going to cascade into everything else we're going to see for the 40th anniversary. Does that have an effect on how consumers overall feel? That's what I want you guys to answer in that video. But in this comment section, again, go ahead and comment. What's something that you can't stand to hear about somebody not being a real sneakerhead? And then did you ever believe that, a myth about investing? Go ahead, comment that below. I always appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.